Hello and welcome to this second video in our series celebrating Code Week. This video looks again at the fantastic Tynker app recommended by Apple in their Everyone Can Code series of ebooks. Over the next few minutes we'll be looking a little closer at some features of Tynker and giving you a handful of tips and tricks to help get you and your children up and running in the classroom. So I'm here in the Space Cadet activity, which you'll recognise from the last video. And if you look down at the bottom left of the screen, you'll see two little symbols. The T in the red circle is highlighted, which means the blocks, the visual coding blocks that I'm using, are the regular Tynker blocks. But there's a symbol next to that. And if I tap that, you'll see the blocks change. And what I'm seeing here is the Swift programming language, which is Apple's own programming language. And this is a really neat and easy introduction to that Swift programming language, and something that we're going to be looking at more in subsequent videos. And I can switch backwards and forwards between these, and this is the same in Space Cadet and Dragon Spells, so both of those activities that Apple recommend in their Everyone Can Code books. So if I just go back to the Tynker blocks and I can drag these code blocks in the order that I want them, and at any time I can switch it to the Swift syntax and see what it looks like in that textual coding language. The next useful tool I'd like to show you can be found inside the workshop from this home screen in the Tynker app. So if I give the workshop button a little tap, I can see here a lot of activities that my students can get involved in. Anything from animation through to art, and even exploring music and physics. Within some of these topics are some really useful tutorials. So if I just tap Beginner Projects and go to this first one, Cow Joke. So I'm going to make the cow tell a knock knock joke to the owl here. And you can see on the left there is a tutorial. It tells me the concepts that I'm going to be exploring in this tutorial. I can see that there are 5 steps, and as I move on through the steps, I can see the stage where my characters are going to tell their knock knock joke. It would appear that the owl already has some code, so if I just tap on the owl, I can see that there's some code there already for the owl. Let's go back to the cow. It brings back my tutorial area and it tells me exactly what I need to do. I need to tap in the white area of the say block and type knock knock. Let's just see how to do that. Give it a tap. Knock knock. There we go. And that's appeared in there. And anytime I can run the program and see what happens. So let's press the run button. I can see my cow saying knock knock, the owl's saying who's there, and then nothing happens. So I need to do some more to the cow. Let's stop the program running and go on to the next stage. So I've just gone through the tutorial and filled in the rest of the blocks here, and you can see what should be happening here. It's a knock knock joke between the cow and the owl. Let's play it and see what happens. So that's a really nice, fun way into building up those code blocks in Tynker and interacting with other characters on that stage. And there are lots more of those tutorials in this section of the Tynker app. This next tip can be a real lifesaver, both for you and your students. If you look in the top right-hand corner of the app, there's a little purple character there. If I just give him a tap, he stands up and says, "If you need help, drag code blocks over me." And let's see what happens when I get any code block from the left and just drop it on top of this little character. So let's start with the on start block. I'm just going to drag it over, hover over the top of the character and let go. And I get a pop-up window that tells me exactly what that block is and what it does. Let's just try it with one more. Let's take a repeat block, over the top, let it go, and there we go. Gives me the title of the block and tells me exactly what it does. And for this one and some others, it also gives me some sample code that I can try out and see what happens. So that little purple character is extremely useful. The last tip in this video will show you where to find the teacher guide here in Tynker, which again is going to be very, very useful as you get your children up and running with the app. So I'm back at my home screen and I'm going to tap the little gear icon in the top left hand corner. There's a little bit of security for me to go through, so I just answer that question. And I'm here in my settings. And if I go to the middle option, the guides, I can see that I can download a teacher guide from here. And there's also links to the Getting Started with Code ebooks from Apple. Just tapping the teacher guide icon will allow me to download it onto my device. And once I have it, it looks like this. And just scrolling through, you can see that it's focused very much on Space Cadet and Dragon spells and the tie-in to the Everyone Can Code series of books. Well, we hope you enjoyed this little video and found our top tips for getting up and running in the classroom useful.